Equatorial Guinea. You can see it's just a small square and an island. They are approximately 2 million people and rising. First, let's look how those people actually live, and as you can see, we don't have that much information, but it's interesting. It looks like in a US states, judging by the straight lines mostly, as you can see here. It's pretty interesting, I have to say. Here, I'm not sure exactly how half of the time it's one country and the other half in the other country with no borders, no nothing like that. So I'm not sure exactly if this border, it is actually accurate, but if it is, it's extremely strange, I have to say. As you can see, they already have some errors, let's call it like that. This looks like some sort of a custom, but I'm not sure. It's strange to have, especially in Africa, countries that shares towns pretty much. It's pretty strange. Let's say on one side of the street you're living in a country, on the other side of the street you're living in a different country. I think I saw that the last time in US with Canada, but never outside that, I would say. And especially in third world countries, it's pretty strange. As you can see, they have some sort of error on the map here. This part of the satellite, it just shows that they didn't build a road yet, but look at the interesting how it is, how it used to be. Hopefully they're pretty well matched. I'm not sure about that, but how the nature built pretty much, and when the human became, they just go straight to that and go on the other side. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else can we find here. This also some strange map, some strange satellite images, as you can see. It could be errors, it could be actually accurate, but still looking pretty strange. They have a nice parking lot here with a stadium that doesn't look that great, but also not that bad either. Again, very straight lines, as you can see. They have roads pretty much everywhere, and they're looking pretty well done, especially from the satellite. It doesn't look bad at all. Paved roads going across the country, not so bad, I have to say. Look at this, not so bad at all. Unfortunately, the satellite images is not that great, but at least we have something to work with. Keep in mind, around 2 million people and rising in this region, so yeah, not that many, but at the same time, even the country is not that big. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but it's probably those are pools. Could be a hotel, it could be a presidential palace, who knows, but it looks expensive at least. Here, the same story. I mean, in the town, again, we don't have 360, we don't have anything to actually see it from the ground level, but they are fairly spread around, not that much as I would like to see, but also not that jamming together everyone, which is good. Streets are paved, a little bit of the green pretty much everywhere you look, so that's good. Again, one of those huge buildings. It could be a church, who knows, but I don't know exactly. I don't have images there, like I said. Here on the side, yeah, still pretty much the same rule, a bit of a green, but the people living a bit more jamming together, I would say here, especially in this area. Look at this, just house right next to the other house. And this is also, again, one of those border towns, whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm not sure exactly if there is exactly that straight line there, but if it is, it's a little strange, I would say. Here, pretty much the same story, spread around pretty decently in this part, in this one not so much, but at least they have some green pretty much wherever you go. Small towns everywhere, I would say. Unfortunately, we don't have even the satellite images that clear to just see how things are going on there in every single corner of the country, but those are apartment buildings, most likely, which I hated. This seems like a gated community or something like that. And a lot of space here in the center, like a square or something like that. Still very strange. Like I say, it looks like a US state, in my opinion. It's just very strange for countries like this. This is definitely new infrastructure, as you can see, straight lines everywhere. Here they have, again, some sort of a new construction neighborhoods. Looks like apartment buildings, at least from above. Those one, yeah, I think still apartment buildings, or at least duplex or something like that. Not exactly individual house, just share it with another family or something like that. This is looks like something in construction, or maybe some construction that were abandoned. Here they seem like they extend the town. Here they looks like they want to build new roads, new infrastructure, new housing. Again, keep in mind this country is expanding the population quite rapidly. And strange enough, I don't see a 360 or a street view anywhere. So yeah. Good news is they have pretty good infrastructure. I mean, look at this. The roads looking pretty good and they just spread around the country, which is very nice. Here again, the same story, a bit jamming together everyone. Here a bit more relaxed, but not by much. At least they have some green pretty much everywhere. They have good roads. They have paved roads. Not so bad, actually. Unfortunately, again, we don't have ground images, which is pretty sad. Because probably it's gonna look pretty good. Not so bad, definitely. What else we have here? Ooh, this is very old images. Can barely distinguish anything here. Again, people jamming everywhere here. Like just, yeah, maybe a bit relaxed in this area, but not by much. Here close to the river, and then they go in the ocean. Look, some mining activity, I would say. I'm not sure exactly. Like I say, don't have that much quality in these satellite images here. I'm not sure exactly it's fishing, but I highly doubt that it's fishing. It's just probably they clear the canal to make sure the ships go in there pretty smooth. Wow, not even one 360. They have some sort of the islands, which is pretty interesting. Look at this. Just this one. They have an island with an airport, or at least an airstrip on one of those. Okay. Could be military, who knows, but I'm not sure. Not that much activity as you can see, but they make a pretty good investment here. I mean, expensive investment. Look at this bridge here. Probably some natural resources. That's a nice beach right here, definitely, but unfortunately we don't have a 360 to check them. And from a 3D mode, again, don't have that much information either. Some parts, they seems to have some residential area. Here a bit more relaxed. I mean, it's kind of strange that we don't have not even one 360, just have to rely on the satellite images, and even those are not that great. This is what's happened when you go in third world countries, just not that much information to work with usually. That's a nice beach here. I would like it. Looks like more like Caribbean islands, looking pretty nice. They have some decent number, let's say, from islands for an African country. You don't see that often usually, but very green, very nice. Some of them underdeveloped, some of them, who knows, maybe on the way of developing. Coastline cities should be pretty decent numbers, but unfortunately, again, we don't have that much quality in these 360s. In satellite images, 360 just pretty much missing. This is probably the capital here, as you can see. A lot of people jamming together here. Yeah, it's just pretty fucked up, I would say. Strangely enough, they don't have paved roads here. In other part, in the east part of the country, we see it, even those small roads. They were paved here, not so much. The main road, yeah, it is, but that's kind of strange. You might have better condition outside the main city. Again, pretty strange. What else we have here? I'm not sure exactly what is this one. I don't think it's a mall or something like that, but still pretty strange. Yeah, when you put a lot of people together, you're not gonna have that much green. But they don't even have the paved streets. That's strange. Look at this. At least from the satellite images, they don't have it here. And they're pretty much in the middle of the town, the city. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here. Could be some government buildings. I don't know. On the coastline, on the near to airport, supposed to have the rich people. Let's see, they have some apartment buildings here, not so great. I'm looking for green and pools, but yeah, I find one here, but it could be a hotel or something like that. And again, no 360 whatsoever. This one a bit more spread out, but not that luxury as I would like to see. Stadiums, that's pretty nice. That's a could be a hospital, I'm not sure. Could be. That's pretty good. They have some poles here, but I don't think they're residential ones. Roads here pretty nice, as you can see. This is from the satellite images. Here going to poverty, most likely. Yeah, look at this, just jamming everyone together. Barely any trees, no paved roads. Probably high crime here. Not exactly a great city to live. They have a pool here, but again, it could be a hotel or something like that. Wow, look at this highway here. Absolutely huge. Not that many people driving on this one, at least from this image, but I don't know, maybe they're gonna have some traffic at some point, who knows. Not that many people, keep in mind, and the infrastructure is pretty good for the numbers of the people, especially outside this main town, main city, looking pretty good. Here they have a pool here, it could be the more rich area, but not that much, I would say. Here on the poverty side, they have some apartment buildings. They look pretty good around the apartment buildings, but still, apartment buildings, in my opinion, you get disqualified for even trying to appeal like a first world country. It's just, no. Nobody wants to live in an apartment, no matter how much luxurious it is. Unless if it's like in a Manhattan, in New York, then maybe, yeah, we can talk about, but those apartments cost like $50 million to have a really nice one. That's actually worth living in it. And even those people who buy them, they don't live in them. They just buy them as an investment and maybe they use it 2 or 3 times a year or something like that. Just no. Apartment buildings are not for humans. We always like to live on the ground level, let's say. Yeah, a nice stadium here with some housing here, but look at this. I don't understand it. Just, you have so much land and just jamming everyone with no trees close to. What do you think is going to happen in the next 100 years? Think those model is going to take off? No, it's fucked up. Nobody likes, and people complain about the American model, that suburbia, which is comparing with this jamming here is not that bad, but that system is also pretty bad. So yeah, even this one probably it's much better because they have much space between them, but you can see the infrastructure is just lacking a lot. Not even a paved road here. But as you can see, when you go inside the country, you're gonna see here pretty good paved roads. And I'm not sure exactly how many people are gonna drive on those comparing with how many people living in this main city. But yeah, I get it. We wanted to connect the towns with a big city and with the ocean, but still, you have to take care pretty much on what's happening in the main town. But who knows? Look at this. Even here, you can see the older streets are paved, but in the main town is not. Okay, maybe not all of them, as you can see. They have a few that they are not. But it looks much better than what we saw here. I mean, look at this. It's just no paved roads. And this is the main city. Look at this. Even the pretty big road here is not paved. That's bad. That's really bad. Another thing that I want to check, I saw they have another island here with a 360 on it. Okay, that's pretty good. This one, I don't think they're not their islands, as you can see. But this one, which is pretty big, it is. Here, wow, that's a luxury complex, definitely. Look at this. It could be a hotel, it could be, who knows, government building. Usually they have those. Yeah, it's kind of strange because this one looks like individual house or, I don't know, apartments. God knows what it is, but here is not so bad. Huh, pretty luxury, I would say. Pretty luxury. This is a stadium here. This is a small community here that doesn't do that well. Keep in mind, this is on the island. Usually life on the island is much more expensive. But look at this. They have a huge city here. Wow. Oh, they have 2-1. This is almost roughly the same size. And we have some 360. I want to start from here. What is going on here? Okay, we don't see it. Yeah, the rich people living in this island, as you can see. Wow, that's really expensive here. What is going on in here? Well, look at the land. Look at the roads. All the houses are the same. Wow. I never see something like this. This is definitely a government building, 100%. 100% it has to be one. That's a parking here. Just give me that vibe. Again, another one of those expensive houses. Look at this. Oh. And whatever's happening here. Wow, that's, I mean, I'm not saying exactly the most impoverished country, But comparing with this one on the mainland, I mean, look at this. Clearly they're made, every single one of them, almost every single one of them make the same. And they're definitely for the richest of the rich here. I mean, it's gonna be expensive to live here, to buy one of those. Unfortunately, we don't have a 360 there to at least check how those people live there. Look how many helicopters can go here. Wow. That's some apartment buildings, not so appealing. Here, pretty interesting way of building in a circle. That's pretty good, I would say. It's enough land between them in a circle. I like it. That's an interesting project here. I like this one. I like it. Okay, we have some 360. Let's check this one. Finally some 360s here. Coastline, pretty good. This guy on the bike, pretty... What time is it? This is October 2019, just before pandemic. So the last few months of freedom. Roads pretty good here. Man, this is a very rich area right there. And keep in mind, that's an extremely rich one. And let's see this one. Doesn't look so bad, actually. Doesn't look so bad. Not great. But this is 2019 again, October. Probably the same guys on the bike, right? Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not wow, but pretty decent. Huh. Roads pretty good. Houses not so much, but at least it's something. Let's check this one. Yeah, not so bad. Bit of the garbage there. Houses again. Not something very appealing. I wanna like to live there, but at least they have something. Let's go in the city. Oh, that's quite a difference, I would say. It's some sort of a bar. Not a big fan of those, no matter what, and it's not exactly in the right spot on the map. They have an airport here, as you can see. Quite a few airplanes there. Okay, Equatorial Guinea doesn't do that bad. Here they have a pool, some new housing, but again, a bit small, the land, a bit on the small side. I would like to see a bit bigger. It's interesting how they can finance some sort of the project like this. Okay, it's kind of close to this, I don't know, gas storage, whatever it is here. It's interesting how they can finance that, but not on a bigger scale. And they have some small towns, not even city, along the coastline. But the main one definitely is there, and a 3D map. It's kind of a mountain plains. You can go here on the top. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna find. They're probably gonna have some nice view. Strange, very strange in my opinion. Can we check that one? No, we can't. It's just a port. Definitely this is from the rich area, as you can see. Even here with this road, probably they have some barbed wire here that protect them to just cannot go there. Can we find a checkpoint? Could be this one. This could be look like a checkpoint here. And this one is not a checkpoint. It's something that goes on the other side of the street. But those are gated community, definitely, as you can see. You can use the main road, but not going in the gated community. And this road continuing on the south part, and oh, we're gonna find another town here. Not so lucky. See, that's the problem with population. I always sustain a huge population. It's gonna be very hard to maintain the high standard living, especially in poor countries. But again, it came with the pros and cons that, so yeah. Clearly new building, new cities down here, I would say, probably in the last 100, 200 years. Square streets. That's not so bad of the bar, but still not a big fan of them. But again, small land, everyone jamming together, not a good outcome. Look at this, how much land you have, and you just keep jamming everyone together there. Here a bit more better, but lack of infrastructure doesn't make that great. Apartment buildings not even close, like I say, you don't even qualify it in my book. It's just, I don't care how luxurious you make it. Nobody wants to live in an apartment. Like I said, not even the richest of the rich like to live in apartments. They just use it as an investment or living like, I don't know, maybe a month for the entire year. So yeah, not a great place to live no matter how much luxury it is. It's interesting. They have some really good rich areas. You can see especially here on the island. And they have an island, also worth mentioning. The land, the country looks like a US States, very square, very modern, let's say, vibe. Not so developed as we can see, but also not so bad. Okay, let's go with the numbers now because I am quite interested in how things are going here. Let's see, numbers, 2 million people population, 1955. Oh my god, look at this, 250,000 people. If they keep the population at 250,000 people, wow, that would be almost 10 times less than today. How that we would look for them? How that could look for a country that keep the same population of 1950s and they still have a growing economic. That would be interesting. Probably the human greed, it will still be present, definitely, but maybe the condition is going to be better for everyone, I would say. Yeah, 1.8%, let's call it increase rate. That will be around 4,000 people. Migration, 0, highly doubt that. Median age, 21, 22 years old. Fertility rate, one of those nonsense, 5.6. And urban population, around 20%. And I want to see... Where is that? Per square meter? We don't have it. Okay, density, 9 people per square kilometer. 9, okay. 2025, 2 million people, 2.4% increase rate, even higher, around 45,000 people increase per year. Migration now on plus 4,000, let's call it 4,000. Median age 21. Got younger for a while, then just bounced back. Fertility rate still nonsense, 4. And density, look at this, people per square kilometers, it's 69 from 9. That's huge. So they used to have much more land for the smaller population, as you can see, but now they have less land for per capita, let's call it like that. Wow, that's how you end up with nonsense like this when you're jamming everyone together and hopefully nothing bad is gonna happen, but I highly doubt that. Urban population around 63%. Look at this, 2050, they see the population is still growing, 3.1, 3.2 million people with 1.5% increase rate, pretty much the same, around 50,000 people. Migration, they say around 170, yeah, probably it's gonna be around 3,000. Median age, 24 years old, again, they get older, but not that much. Fertility rate, manageable at 2.7, but still pretty high for countries like this, but we'll see. 2.7, it could be actually pretty good. Around it's 2.1, 2.2, it's probably the best. But we will see. Density, look at this. People per square kilometers, 112. They're going up again with the population, and the land is pretty much remain the same. If they don't have a war and they lose some land or they gain some land, you're jamming more and more people in the same space. It's not going to end up well, in my opinion. Urban population around 75%. Life expectancy here is 64 years old, as you can see. Female 66, male 62, almost to the ideal age, my opinion. And they go up. Infant mortality rate 50 and death under age of 5, 68. But they're going down, as you can see. So yeah, clearly they make some improvement there. Wow, it's an interesting stats here. Demographic, as you can see, the base of the pyramid is very solid. They have some male surplus of the population from the age 0 to 50, and then they go in a female surplus. Right now, they don't seem to have signs of slowing down, at least from the perspective of the pyramid. From the forecast, the estimates, it seems like yearly change is gonna pretty much stay the same, and people living longer. So yeah, population will still increase, but we'll see how that is gonna be sustained, how much gonna be sustained. Now economics, let's see how they're doing in that department. GDP 12.6 billion US dollars and PPP around 33 billion US dollars. Not that much. Growing rate 5.1. 1.9. I think it could be a minus here. 5.1 on downscale. 1.9, 4.2, and 0 in 2026. Yeah, not so great. GDP per capita 7,750 US dollars nominal, and PPP around 20,000. PP 20,000 not so bad, but still far away from something. I would call it solid. 8.7% unemployment rate in 2023. That's pretty high. That's pretty high, I have to say. Corruption, let's see how they're doing in this department. Judging by this small patch here of dark red, it doesn't do that well, but let's see the number. Let's see, Equatorial Guinea. Oh, where is it? Going up a bit. Equatorial Guinea. 13 points and just got down 1 point. Yeah, not so great. Corruption here, it's pretty high, so clearly a country perceived as more corrupt. What else can we find here? They speak Spanish and French and Portuguese. Okay, so probably a French colony at some point. I'm not sure exactly, but to be honest, at this point, I don't think it even matters that much. 88% Christianity, okay. 4% Islam. And the rest of them is just pretty much data. It seems to be like, look at this, pretty advanced at some point. Not so bad. So we see the colonies, they're doing better under their Western rules usually. Obama is here, okay. They have some mining activity here. The building not so bad. They have a meeting with Putin. They have some military airplane, whatever that they're using that. And the environment looking pretty nice. See, not so bad, not so bad. But again, the growing rate, that's the problem. They're very small for such a country that's supposed to be much higher. But unfortunately, it have a high corruption. So they replace high growth with high corruption. That's pretty interesting. That's a Catholic church. Yeah, it could get better, but who knows? Wow, they have an IT department and a stadium. Yeah, that was the Equatorial Guinea. Ooh, they're going up pretty fast in population. As you can see, in the last 100 years, by 2050, the population got more than 10 times. It's a growth, it's numbers, doesn't tell us exactly that much. The only things that they tell us is just like there are more people living on the square kilometers than it used to be. Yeah, economic wise, you have some numbers that looks like they're going up, they do better, but let's face it, not even close to the realize the whole story. Oh, we have a small island here. I didn't check this one. Let me check real quick. No, 360. Oh, that's a pretty nice 3D made. They have a lake here on the top. They have an airstrip here. They have some sort of a, I don't know, architecture thing going on there. And here looks like a hotel. The airstrip is pretty big. Coastline not so bad. They have a nice beaches there. Here they have some jamming together everyone in small squares. Hopefully let's just make it more economic, let's say, but it looks pretty fucked up in my opinion. Those boats are probably from fishing, so people here, they don't do that well. They have some shipping containers here in the port. They have some mining activities here. Here as well. Yeah, they don't do that well here, I have to say. I don't see them doing well. And look at this, they still have land. Be interesting on those islands, as we can see in Pacific, when the population going down, what's gonna happen with them? They're gonna repurpose them. They're gonna say, okay, now you have much bigger land to live if you, I don't know, give up on this part here, and we're gonna give you 10 times more in this part here, so you can actually build a house and having some decent level of living. Here the same story, everyone jamming together. I do not like that. That's a nice beach here. Look at this. That's probably a great. Unfortunately, we don't have a 360 there to check them, but it looks pretty nice from above. Wow, some small communities here. I'm not sure exactly where is the road. Probably this one. No, just a river here. Pretty isolated, as you can see. I don't think they have a road, but they have. It's probably something very dangerous to the forest, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Bunch of islands, which is pretty interesting and pretty far away from the coastline of the mainland here. Not all of them are them. They have other that doesn't belong to them with much more 360 and street views, much more advanced. We're gonna see who owns those islands. Yeah, not so great, I would say, but also not the worst that we saw. So I guess it's kind of a push here. Yeah. What else can I say? I would not want to live in countries like this because that's why I make those videos to see how those people live in. If it's a country that actually say, okay, maybe it's better than my country here. Maybe actually I'm gonna have a much better life, but it's not the case here with Equatorial Guinea. It's just not so great, but judging by the migration that's happening there in the country, clearly the neighborhood countries, they don't do that well as they, so yeah. Pretty interesting to keep an eye on them. Interesting infrastructure that they build across the country, so we're gonna see how that pays off, but with high corruption, it's just not even close to see a nice booming economy on not just numbers, actually see how those people are living way better than used to be, which I kind of highly doubt that. So yeah, check the other videos that I make, and we're gonna see you next time. Look at this, how small they are. See, just a small square there, right there. Yeah.